Good morning, everybody. Hello. Today we are doing double duty. We're going to be listening to Silver Elite by Danny Francis while making a Ren Fair costume, because I wanted to, well, I have to make a Ren Fair costume because we're going to go to Ren Fair. I won free tickets. I actually won a sweepstakes thing. That's crazy. But we have to prepare costumes. So I'm making my costume. I've been planning this costume like since last year, and now we need to make it. I'm a little nervous about it because I have a lot of body issues and I'm a little not certain of how I want to create this look. But also I wanted to do some investigation over this new release, Silver Elite, which is a dystopian romance, I'm thinking. I actually don't remember anything about the synopsis. So, real quick, maybe we should read that? Maybe we should better read the synopsis. Okay, so it is a sizzling dystopian romance. We have Trust No One. Ren Darlington has spent her whole life in hiding, honing her psychic abilities and aiding the rebel uprising in small ways. On the continent, being modified means certain death, and Ren is one of the most powerful mods in existence. When one careless mistake places her in the hands of the enemy, she's forced to join their most elite training program. She's finally handed the perfect opportunity to strike a devastating blow from inside their ranks. Lie to everyone. But training for Silver Block can be deadly, especially when you're harboring dangerous secrets and living in close quarters with everyone who wants you dead. And whatever you do, don't fall for your greatest enemy! As the stakes grow ever higher, Ren must prove herself to Silver Block. But that's easier said than done when your commanding officer is the ruthless and infuriatingly irresistible Cross Redden, who doesn't miss anything when it comes to her. And as war rages between mods like her and those who aim to destroy them, Ren must decide just how far she's willing to go to protect herself, and how much of the continent is worth saving. Okay. Now, there's been a lot of speculation over who Danny Francis is. I don't necessarily care just yet, because I want to read the book and see, if I recognize the writing style. Now, I'm not great at identifying writing styles, but I just want to see if I can figure out based on that. But yeah, there's been this whole thing about who is Danny Francis, and supposedly is already a best-selling author, but the question is, if you already are a best-selling author, why do a pen name? And there's lots of different reasons to have pen names and stuff, but curiosity has piqued the internet on this one. But I'm going to evaluate is this book good? It's gotten a ton of hype, so let's figure it out. Is this book good? Or other things happening? I don't know. It's not necessarily a thirsty vlog. It probably is a thirsty vlog, but I don't think it's gotten the hype because of it being smutty. So we'll find out. I need to start stream. We're going to start streaming and start making an area for us to start, because we're in a very limited space. As you can tell, like, here's my door. I have a sleeping chihuahua on the, I don't know if you can see him, on my bed. I have a sleeping dachshund under there. Let's get started. Also, I'm not using the mics because I'm really tired of those microphones and I think they sound awful. So I hope the audio is okay this way. All right, so I have finished cutting all the fabric out, and we are now pretty far. I don't know where I set my phone. Where did I just set it? Let's see, where did I put my phone? All right, we are 15% into Silver Elite. This is very predictable and also doesn't make sense to me because she's being suspected of being what she actually is because of her uncle. Her uncle has been unalived. You know, standard inciting incident in any kind of situation where a father figure is terminated. And then because she's this great shot, that happened previously in the book. Now after her interrogation, they're like, you're going into the Silver Elite already. And I'm like, if she's suspected of being this, even if she cleared the so-called, you know, most amazing mod out there who's a traitor to her kind, says, no, she's clear, she's innocent or whatever. It doesn't make sense to me that why you would have this person who clearly hates you guys join your Silver Elite program. That dots don't connect there. You would be watchful of that person, but you would not put them in your ranks after you just unalived their father figure. You would not be doing that. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. I don't know, but we have cut out all of these guys. I gotta figure out how to attach them all together. We've got some pleading to do, but I'm gonna go eat some lunch. Hi, I'm still suffering through this, both the book and the skirt. I was pleating the skirt, and I pleated it backwards, so we just repleated it, and I'm going to take a break. But we are now 36% done? 36% done with Silver Elite, and I know there's so much speculation on who this author is, but I can guarantee you they are white, and they have no real concept of the nuance of the tropes that they're playing on, or not even the tropes, but the themes that they're playing on with this book. It's all smexy times. It's not even smexy times, it's just everybody being horny for each other in the midst of something that's should have much more weight to it, but it's just a backdrop. They're not even concerned for it. It's just every 2 seconds this main character is finding people attractive, is getting intoxicated by their scent, is distracted by their hands and stuff, and it's overwhelming where the plot is not plotting. There is no plot right now, and there should have been a lot more going on, and it's frustrating. So we're gonna go take a break, but it's been a frustrating start to both this book and this costume, I'll tell you that. These characters so much. Hi, it's actually been 2 days, and as you can hear from my voice, I'm not feeling well, but I only have 8 hours, less than probably, to finish this book, because I have 7 hours. It's due in 7 hours, and I did not really get to listen to it at all yesterday, but I am now 55% in, and boy, do I hate these characters. I hate this. I hate how it's everyone sleeping together. I hate how, like, here's the thing. When you're going to give me a romantasy, I want pining and yearning, and I don't want to see the two main characters just sleeping around with other people when they're clearly attracted to each other. I hate that kind of narrative. But it just drives me insane. Where, like, she's trying to prove herself, and so she sneaks into his quarters, and he's literally, like, with someone else. And I'm like, if he's really so obsessed with her, like, why? It doesn't make sense to me. I'm very ace that way, though, and I don't like that trope. That is a personal taste. Some people might not feel that way and be okay with it, but I'm like, if you're trying to sell me on characters to be in love with each other, that's not the way to go about it for me. Also, like, she keeps entering in these situations where she's just so thirsty for him, and then is like, oh, but he would think I'm lesser than, and he wants to eradicate all of my people and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, he does. So as far as we know, yeah, he does. He probably doesn't, but yeah, he does. So no, like, that would turn off any attraction to me. Racism is not attractive. I don't care how pretty the person is. Immediately, if I find out that a person is racist like that, nope, attraction gone. It does not exist. They are the ugliest person now. And that's one of the things I can't stand with a lot of, like, the romances, the dark romances that are like enemies to lovers kind of stuff. They're not even, I don't know even if I classify this as enemies to lovers. They're unknowing enemies, I guess. He's an unknowing enemy. Sort of. I don't know. It's complicated, but I can't stand that. I cannot. I do not abide. And again, this is supposed to be a dystopian, but it feels so basic that it doesn't understand what dystopia is supposed to do. There is no critique going on about the real world, which is what dystopia is supposed to do. Given how new a release this is, you would think it would do a lot more for our current situation and climate. And it's just not. It's not reflecting that at all. It's just regurgitating old ideas in other dystopians. It's kind of how I felt about Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing is not original. It uses a lot of other books' like plot devices. Oh, I mean, like, that's pretty, like, standard trope-wise, you're gonna have that. But the elements of how this works, like, right now, her training for Silver Elite feels very Dauntless from Divergent. A lot of the training exercises are very similar to the ones you would see in Divergent. And her being a sharpshooter like this is giving Katniss. It's like, I don't feel like any part of her is truly unique. I feel like this character is an amalgamation of other very popular YA dystopian heroines, and then just wanting to age her up a bit so that they can put her in sexy times. I don't really believe her as a character overall because she's so flip-floppy on everything. And I don't like her. I don't like her. I don't really like any character in this so far. There hasn't been anyone that I'm really rooting for. So, and it plays on the same themes that, like, Divergent. Like, we have that one best friend who's helpful, and we have this one of, like, this sort of clearly, like, trying to make this a love triangle situation, but it's just like the super flirty guy who's super into her, but is a really great friend. But later, I'm guessing there's going to be more conflict if we keep trying to establish this kind of flirtation relationship. I think he's going to take it a lot more seriously than she takes it. And we're going to have a nice guys finish last situation happening, likely. I don't know. I'm so frustrated with this book. It's just, I wanted it to be better. I really, really did. I was really holding out that maybe all the controversy and stuff was just people overreacting. And it's not that it's, like, it has entertainment factor to it. Like, I am not getting bored, I would say. Like, I am paying attention, which for some other books that I've recently read, I'm just kind of bored by them. Like, there was nothing special. This one I'm at least paying attention to. But I think it's kind of a hate read situation where I want to see how much more I can spot that is just unoriginal or something. And yeah, it just doesn't, it's not giving me the obsession that I want to have with something. Because there are, and I want to make it very, very clear, because I had to actually defend this a little bit ago. I do like books that have spice in them. There are several books in my repertoire that I have enjoyed, despite them having heavy amounts of spite and horniness from the characters. There are ways to do this well written. This is not one of them. This is definitely not one of them. It's really hard to do in a dystopian setting. I never really think that a romantasy dystopian is ever really going to work. Maybe there is some out there. Maybe that's the new challenge, is find a dystopian romantasy that actually proves to me that you can do this and have characters that make sense in the dystopian world and have sense for their attraction and stuff, but still be, like, adults. And that's the thing. She's 20 and they're like, adult. She's a child, honestly. As a 20-year-old, that's the other thing, is like how this is very much like I wanted to age up YA so that it was at least age appropriate. But when I remember as a 20-year-old, I was still a baby and I didn't know anything. Yeah, that's currently where I'm at. I'm going to try to listen to this today. I don't know how much I'm going to get done because I do feel so ill right now. I'm trying to feel better, but I'm scared I'm getting strep, honestly. This is my bane, and I have no health insurance again. So we're just going to kind of chill. I might do some sewing. I might just lay on my bed and listen to this book and try to finish it in time. I should, if I just keep listening to it. It says I have 8.5 hours left, which at my speed is about 4 hours. So I should meet it within the 7-hour deadline. We'll find out. But that's currently where we stand with Silver Elite. I'm getting really mad about this. Hello. You've been laying down. I feel like this vlog has taken a complete turn into not going to be finishing my Ren Fair costume during it because I'm too sick. And I've now been made to feel even sicker by the freaking scene. They finally, it's okay, decided to sleep with each other, but it's only going to be this once, which we all know is a lie. And they had this really, really dumb op where she had to pretend that she was looking for a job to make contact in this brothel and get a job. And it was just like an excuse to flirt with each other. It was gratuitous. Everything about this is gratuitous now. Oh. No. Come here. It's cuddle time. So yeah. What chapter is that? I don't know. Chapter 32, but it's probably... Is it actually 32? Yes. Chapter 32. So if you're like me and you're ace and you don't enjoy all that. I mean, in retrospect, of all the smutty scenes that I've read before, that was pretty tame. It was pretty tame. Not one of the most gross ones I've had to read before. So, there's at least that. I definitely am just kind of like, these people are acting like immature children, and now it's just going to be awkward time because it's like, it was one time. We'll never do that again. We got it out of our systems, which we all know that trope just doesn't exist, and it's just kind of obnoxious. It's an obnoxious one, so I hope you guys like this video. I wish I wasn't feeling so crappy, but I am. Ugh. Oh, and my laundry is done. Well, I have to get up and do that. So we're at 7.5 hours left, 61%, 3.5 hours actual my time listening to it, and it is due in 6 hours. Onward. All right, we are now 69% done, and we've gotten into Silver Elite and stuff. And here's the thing, like, she has to do a final test to get into the elite part of Silver Block, and spoiler alert, unalives the person that she's up against, basically. And that's really traumatic, right? And reasons why I like the other character of Kane more is because after everything that happens, like, she is distraught after this, and he actually comforts her. Cross, our actual love interest, decides basically to have more smexy times as a way to get her to forget. And I'm like, this is a moment where I think Romantasy needs to learn this. And there are some books that have done this, obviously, so I'm talking about this book in particular. But sometimes a more impactful bonding for someone, especially during a grief moment, is not banging their lights out. It's comfort. And I think if it had just been a quieter moment of just like maybe just holding her and letting her grieve the friend, I feel like, not even a friend, but, you know, it wasn't like her bestest friend that he unalived. But that would have been a better growth for them as a couple than the bang and buy kind of situation that went down. So I wish more stories would, especially that are romance focused, would kind of let the readers experience that growth in more than just a spicy scene. Because it's much more impactful that way. Like, we could have had a really good moment here, but instead, no, we're going to be gross and do spicy times instead. And it could have done that, and that would have been very, very, very good. That would have been better writing, in my opinion. This was just another excuse to have another open door spicy scene. But I'm like, I don't think it's necessary. If you really want to focus on the romance of these characters and make it more believable, that's a better way to make it more believable and make it so that we actually are starting to build an attachment, the characters between each other and with the audience. So that's my hot take on this. I have a sleepy boy who's been comforting me this whole time, but I have not really moved from this bed since switching my laundry. Anyway, that's my hot take in between right now. Sorry, there's just not a lot else going in this vlog. Maybe later, if I get some energy, we'll have more, but for now, we're laying here, and that's all the energy I can commit to. Hello, I've managed to get up from the bed and move to my chair. But I've had some lunch, and literally every time these two are in need of comfort, it's always sexual, and that's what's really bothering me about this. We've just had a bit of a reveal with Cross's mother, and figuring out that, you know, the hypocrisy within the dystopian government. Again, nothing about this is new, original. It really is starting to feel like the author took the plot outline of Divergent and is just kind of following it beat for beat. Right now, at least in terms of the character relations, just aging it up and adding sexy times. But we've had, you know, betrayal, well, not full betrayals, but like, we've had to go rescue our old best friend. And in doing so, ruining that friendship by the only means to rescue her while still staying undercover. Covering up the unaliving of another fellow officer for being an absolute creepoid, and graper. Yeah, it's just like, nothing's really changed for me in my experience in reading this. I've got a little bit of about 3.5 hours left of the actual runtime, so we're getting there. I think we'll make it before it's due back to the library. I just need to get the motivation to go fold my laundry because it's sitting in the dryer. But I don't want to get up still because I feel like crap. I don't like that I'm sick for this vlog. I wasn't sick when I started, and now I'm sick, and it's stupid. Who gets sick in summer? There's a Japanese saying that only idiots get sick in summer, so I guess I'm an idiot, guys. Okay, 2 things. Number 1, I knew it. The identity of Wolf, her secret friend, obvious. That was pretty obvious. Second thing we've had is a big unaliving of a bunch of people that I don't think are unalived because nobody's... Now, granted, it's supposed to be a sugar bomb, which was a big, like, explosion or something. And one of her best friends, basically, were all in it. However, because she's working for the Uprising, I think that a lot more people in this Silver Elite group were actually undercover. And so my bet right now is that these friends are not actually unalived. That's my current guess. Based on the writing style of this book and based on how things are going, I'm going to go ahead and say that no. No bodies, no deaths. That's how narratives usually work in stuff like this. So, still annoyed. I was wondering where the plot went for a really long time, I will say. But we're getting there. We're nearing the end. We're at 2.5 hours left. So that leaves us to about 1 hour and 9 minutes at the speed that I'm currently reading. So, still haven't done my laundry though. Hello everybody. It's been several days since I finished listening to Silver Elite. That's how he feels about it. And I needed to film my final thoughts. I did want to sit on it for a bit. I Did you? Oh, I'm sorry. Someone needs it. We need this. Yeah. You're sleepy. Yeah, I just wanted to mull it over a little bit. And I also, like, I've been making my Ren Fair costume, or at least that skirt, and I hate that skirt. So all the footage you saw during this of me making it, totally moot, because I'm redoing it. I'm redoing the whole thing. So you'll see the Ren Fair costume in a whole other video, because we're starting from square one again, and I've actually just been really, really busy and distracted and things, and lots of blah, 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 blah stuff going on in life. I feel very disorganized and disjointed, which I don't like feeling, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But let's talk Silver Elite. So I think I've probably said most of what I'm going to say as my final thoughts, because I was right on a lot of stuff. It's a very predictable book, and it's just not good. It stole, I don't want to say stole, but it feels like it borrowed a lot, particularly from Divergent. There was a lot of like Dauntless coded things. A lot of like the relationship for like Triss and Four in Divergent just aged up and adulted up is what it really felt like. I really think it just lacked so much of the nuance. Like it really, really wanted to try to be something a lot more profound, and it was just completely derailed by the main character's horniness, really. It just felt like that the main character just wasn't developed enough as a whole person, and like their only purpose was to be like, here, we're going to give you this symbol of the oppressed people, but also we want it to be sexy, so she's going to just constantly talk about the attractiveness of this person who literally she doesn't know, but would want her unalived if he knew the truth. And that's my main problem. It's like, he's not attractive because he's actually secretly a rebel. She doesn't know that until way later. And that's a huge, huge, huge problem. I also feel like a lot of the things that was set up in the beginning weren't utilized well. Like, we have this character in the very beginning who's supposed to be like the most powerful mod ever, who's like really, or at least really, really good at telepathy and stuff and knowing the truth about people, right? She's like the right-hand man of the villain, of the main villain, and she's a traitor to her people, etc., etc., etc. And I really thought we'd be utilizing this character a lot more, but you get her for that one first scene, and you get her for one more scene, and it just has zero impact because we don't see her ever. And she should have been used a lot more. It would have been much more impactful if the character, if our main character, had been actively besting her in her own ability throughout the book, and not just once and then oopsies, you know. It didn't have that same oomph of things. And also the friends. So she develops these friendships, and oh, she should never do that, blah, blah, blah. And then we have this moment where a thing happens, and we are led to believe that they've all been unalived. And for me, standard rule, no body, no death, right? That's standard rule. And I'm right on part of it. But I also really dislike what it's probably setting up as an actual like love triangle situation, when the character was so casual and stuff before. Oh, he's been secretly this amazing rebel pilot, basically. And it didn't have anything interesting about itself. It didn't have anything unique. It just really wanted to be sexy Divergent, is really what this wanted to be. And it lacked all of the nuance. Like Divergent, it's been a long time since I've read Divergent, but I feel like Divergent had a lot better time encapsulating the dystopian theme. than this book did. There's definitely more, better dystopian books out there, but there was so many parallels I found for this that it was almost distracting. It was like, ooh, what's going to be from Divergent next is what it felt like I was reading, rather than reading a truly unique novel. And it's not well done. There's a lot of lines that were so cringy, and it just felt like this character, she's supposed to be 20, and I'm like, you know what, 20-year-olds are babies as well. They're still so young, but she's supposed to have all this life experience, and yet she still read like a teenager, really. She didn't read as an adult. And none of the characters really did. It's just like, we're going to say that they're this age, but really we're only doing that so that we can make them bang. And that's the crux of this, I think, is that it felt like this is just smutty Divergent fanfic. That's really what it felt like, what it came down to. And, if you enjoyed the book, that's fine. There was a lot of entertaining factors to it, but for me and what I'm seeing from it, it just, the hype that this book got, I don't think it was deserved, all the special treatments and stuff. And that's kind of my main frustration with today's marketing and the publishing world today. It's just like all these books that are getting like these special editions and sprayed edges and all this hype, but they're not offering the reader anything. They're just quick cash grabs, it seems like, just for the aesthetic and the smut. And it feels like publishers today, only when they hear romantasy, they think this has to be super smutty and we can just regurgitate any other fantasy stuff. It doesn't matter, because it feels almost like they don't respect the reader. That's actually kind of what it feels like. It's like, well, these are just, sad, horny women who are alone in their marriages or whatever, and so this is how it's going to satisfy them. But if we just regurgitate the same characters, the same fantasy tropes, and the same basic plot lines, if we don't offer them anything new, it won't matter. We can just almost keep them dumb and contained. Not that you guys are dumb if you're reading this stuff and enjoying it, but I think that's what the trad world, at least in this department, it's what it feels like they're doing, because it's really hard for me to find a romantasy that feels really well crafted and really unique and stuff. And they're out there. I know they're out there. The thing is, I'm finding them more in the indie world, not the trad world. And so it comes down to this discussion of where trad is putting their money, and and it feels like they're just gonna bank on these authors. Not necessarily, God, I feel like I'm being really rude about this, but this is just, this was so frustrating because I wanted it to be good. I wanted to be like, every time I go into one of these kinds of books where I'm doing a thirsty vlog, I go in with the intention not to hate the book. I go in going, please be better than what I'm expecting. And this one was way worse than what I was expecting. I was expecting to at least almost have the same experience I had with Fourth Wing, because while I don't love Fourth Wing had its merits, okay? It had its fun things. This, I like, this is days later now, and I'm just trying to think of, like, was there anything I truly enjoyed about this book? And no, I didn't. There was nothing about it that felt unique. There was nothing that felt interesting or new, or even if it was a regurgitated thing, I didn't enjoy that part. None of it really sat well with me. And I feel like there was a lot of missed opportunities for this to have expanded, especially with that one, I think her name was Jade or something. I think we could have expanded a lot more there. And I feel like if anyone should have been like secretly a rebel or something, it's, the right-hand man of the villain. Like, that would have been a much more interesting perspective than the one we got. I'm like this a lot, though. I end up liking side characters a lot more, and then they always get killed. I just read another book, and my favorite side character got killed. Stop killing my favorite characters, authors! Anyway. Okay, so, yes, overall, this was a long explanation for what feels like such a pointless vlog right now, because I'm scrapping the entire Ren Fair costume, and I just really had a bad time with this book, and I'm mad about that, because I almost, Like I said, I feel insulted by the traditional publishing world right now, by what books they're really pushing into the market when there's so many other books that I think that they should be pushing that have way more depth. Like, try to go pick up R. Dugan's. Like, we want some good romance, some good romantasy. R. Dugan. Pick up her stuff. That stuff is phenomenal and deserves all the treatment. Okay? Like, I can recommend so many books that deserve better treatment and deserve those trad deals and stuff and deserve that trad marketing because they are so good and they're exactly what the romantasy crowd would want and would just eat up if they gave it a chance. But no, we're going to keep banking on stuff that just plays on the same thing over and over and over. This is another Akatar. It's another Fourth Wing. We're going to play the same things and we're not going to deviate from the plan because change is scary and we don't want to take any risks at all, even though these books are really good. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm not bitter. Okay, I'm gonna go cuddle with my dog now, and we're just gonna cuddle. Well, he's gonna be here, and then Lucy's under the desk. I don't know if you can see her. It's kind of dark, but she's been sleeping under the desk a lot. It's her safe space, especially during fireworks season. Here, there's a big boy. There's a big. Oh, that's a big snooze. Snooze. Baby. Okay. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed some of this vlog, whatever it turned out to be. Hopefully I finished that Ren Fair costume and I'm not dissatisfied. Feel like I'm just dissatisfied all around, and so nothing is good right now. My costumes, my books, everything, my jobs, like I can't. I need something to go well. And books are the things that are supposed to go well. They didn't go well. Okay. Thanks for watching. Bye. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Hello?